So if you've seen my last video, you know that I kind of had a bit of a mishap towards the end. I rear-ended a car and well, uh, there was no damage on my side. Nobody got hurt. Uh, the car's bumper was damaged and I compensated him for it. So all that is taken care of. I just wanted to make a video here to analyze what exactly went wrong and why that mishap happened. So, as with most accidents, it's usually a series of events that lead to it. And in this case, also, I analyzed and found that there were several factors that contributed to it. Well, firstly, yes, I was going a little too fast. It may not look very fast at first, but when you see as I approach the car, it is clearly a little on the higher side. I mean, of course, there were other factors. I was getting uncomfortable in the left lane and wanted to move over to the right lane. So I kind of overtook that truck that was on my right. And as a result of that, I was carrying slightly higher speed than I probably should have. But then again, if the conditions were ideal, I would have been able to brake and stop from that speed. The second factor, of course, the car ahead. He braked quite abruptly. But hey, that's expected. That happens all the time, especially here in India, right? So I wouldn't call that a major contributing factor, but still, that's one of the things that went wrong. So the third and the biggest reason uh, contributing to this mishap is this patch that you see just in front of me. It's a broken piece of the tarmac. It's kind of like a groove, you know, and it was quite big. I mean, it probably doesn't look as big as it really was in on camera, but it was quite big, and it was filled with sand on the inside. And I couldn't see this until the last moment because the car in front of me was covering it. So only when the car passed over it, I could actually see it. So when I could actually see it, it was already I was already braking at that point because the car had just slammed on the brakes in front of me, and I didn't have any time to react. In fact, I didn't even see that groove on the road. You know, I just felt it, and it's only later when I was analyzing this video that I realized that I had fallen in that. So I started braking. It was decelerating or slowing down quite fast initially, as I was expecting it to. And suddenly, my front wheel fell in something, and that was the groove. I didn't see it, but I could feel it, just the surface kind of dropping from underneath me for a moment, and then I felt my front wheel and then my rear wheel sliding. And I didn't know exactly what was making it slide. I just knew that something was wrong with the surface, something was wrong with the road. And so I kind of eased up a little on the front brake at least because I didn't want to lock up the front and have an even worse accident, right? Because this time it was just my front wheel that crashed into the car's bumper. If I had locked up and crashed, it could have been my face crashing into the car. So I had to kind of make a quick choice there and ease up a little on the front brake to prevent a complete lockup. And yeah, they didn't really have any other choice other than to go on and hit the car. So that was the biggest factor. And again, this brings me back to the first point or the first reason of speed. If the conditions were ideal, I was not going too fast. I would have been able to stop. But that's how it is in India, at least. You really have to expect surface conditions to be unpredictable. So you have to keep a margin for that and be ready to brake even if the conditions suddenly change. So I take this as a learning experience. I hope you do as well. How several factors that would not be so bad on their own, but when they get combined, they can make bad things happen. So always look out for them, be prepared, always keep a little more distance than you think you need because the conditions can change without any notice. And also, another thing I usually do is not follow a car directly behind it. I usually keep myself slightly to the left or right so that I can swerve and, you know, avoid the car if he brakes suddenly or if he crashes or whatever. As you can see in this case, I didn't even try braking, I just swerved and saved myself. So I usually try doing that. So I have the option of either braking or swerving. But in this case, that wasn't really an option because, as you can see, the place was kind of congested. The left lane was already kind of blocked. There was a lot of traffic, and a swerve here would not be safe, even if it was possible. So that could actually be another factor contributing here. No escape route. So yeah, guys, I hope you find this useful and ride safe. Bye.